This truck is sat for 2 years, so I'll need to prime the injector pump, otherwise it will not start. So here's the primer. Loosen up this wing nut. This is a 711 cubic inch Mack diesel engine with a turbocharger. Whoa, there's fuel there. I don't know if that did it, but I will latch this back in place and give it a try. Put the hold down retainer back in place here. I got diesel fuel on my hand, that's typical. Make sure there's adequate coolant in here. I can't see down in there, so I need to stick something down there, see if the level is near. And being in here, I'll check the oil level. Got the dipstick here behind the turbo. Got a long cable. Looks good. Oil's still clean. It's full. This dead stocky weed might be adequate. Hopefully I can shove it down and not break it off. Oh yeah, there's coolant down there. It's not down very far at all. Now I have to see if there's any current in the batteries. There's likely a wasp nest in here. There typically is. Old one laying on the floor. Well, there's some up on the ceiling there. I think I charge the battery up. Got the battery charger on here. It's taking a charge. So I'll leave it on for an hour. Hopefully that's enough to spin the engine over. So anyway, well, we do a little overview of this truck. It's a 1964 Mack C-600. C-600. Obviously the emblem is missing from this side. So what it is, it's a short nose truck, has the same front fenders as a B series Mack truck, and then it has the cab of an L series truck, whereas a B series cab is very rounded, has a very rounded roof, where this is a little bit more squared off, a little bit more straight lines. The hood is unique to the C series, as well as the grille surround, I believe. Otherwise it shares drivetrain and such with the B series of this vintage. It's a 1964 model. Thanks to the Mack Museum, I have a copy of the specifications order form for this very truck. It was sold new in 1964 to Petroleum Resources Company in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And it was ordered with DuPont Deluxe white enamel from the belt line going upward. So the roof down to this belt line was white, and then below the belt line it was DuPont red. And also it had the spoke wheels would have also been DuPont red. And this was for a number of years a semi-tractor. It had a Holland fifth wheel plate on the back, and I don't know if it pulled liquid petroleum, what it actually, something petroleum related, obviously. Exactly what, I don't know. But eventually it was sold to Myers Transport of St. Cloud. They're still in business. They're a regional hauler. I believe they retired the truck maybe somewhere, maybe late 1970s, early 80s maybe, I don't know. I'll guess somewhere in 1980s they retired the truck. Then I believe it was the owner of the company took it out to his farm, put a dump bed on it so that he could use it around his farm. It's got a 711 cubic inch Mack turbo diesel in it. Originally it had a Mack 9-speed overdrive transmission, but it was switched over to let's see, I think it has a Mack twin stick 5-speed and 3-speed, if I remember correctly, in it. I imagine the reason why that was swapped out was to give lower gear ratios for using it as a gravel truck, as opposed to having highway gearing for a semi-tractor. It has Mack rear suspension in it. It's not a camel-back, but it's more of a leaf spring walking beams up there. So this can swivel, yet it's a stack of leaf springs there. They mounted a pinto hitch on the back. So it's got a farm license plate on it, and it's dated 07. So maybe it was in the 90s when it retired, I don't know, but it seems, I don't think they'd been using a truck that sold on the highway that late in its age. But anyway, has a match set of Goodyear virgin rubber on it, but they're old, getting big cracks in the sidewalls. But they swapped it over to tubeless rims, where it likely had tube type wheels on initially. Radial tires were originally what had bias ply or nylon ply tires. Same on the front. Got radial tires. Bridgestone on the front. It's well worn. But, all the tires hold air. Got a lot of rain. I want to start this thing up and raise the box so this water will drain out. There's more rain in the forecast. I welded in a new bed maybe 6 years ago. I followed a lot of big rocks in it since then, so there's some dents, but it's pretty good condition. One unique thing about this particular Mack is it has a bunch of aluminum components. So the fuel tanks are aluminum. The front spring shackles are cast aluminum, all in the name of weight savings. Has aluminum front bumper. And there may be other pieces that are aluminum for lightweight. I can't imagine what they are at this time. Cab has rust issues. They had body filler over a bunch of rust there. Bottom of the door, as you can see, it's bubbling through. Inside looks pretty good. The floor has some rust through. It's flat metal, so it could be repaired without too much difficulty. Front fenders, a little bit of rust here, not a big deal. They're pretty darn solid. The worst maybe is the rust along the cowl here. Let's see, it's rusted along the bottom of the windshield. Above the windshield, I believe that's all good condition. There's rust around the back of the cab where the splice is, factory splice. I think there's some along the lower edge of the cab as well. It's dual fuel tanks. They both hold fuel. I put a new crossover line in a few years ago because the original was leaking. So that high-rise air intake, that is factory original. The reason I was given for it being so high is that with the ramped profile of the stubby nose, that driving on the highway when it rains, rain would deflect into the intake if it was mounted at a traditional height. So they had to raise the intake cap up high to avoid any water deflecting off the hood and going into the intake. It sounds plausible. It's the only reason I've been told for them doing that. I built a stainless steel stack for it several years ago. When I bought it, it was just had a bottom exit. I imagine I had a stack at one time, but I could be wrong. You might have had just bottom exhaust initially, I don't know. It's 1964, so a lot of things could have been changed since then. Here you can see more of the prolific rust in the bottom of the cab. There's a better here. But, it won't be too difficult to repair. In my opinion, the worst would be the cowl being it got some complex curves and such. I guess that's about it. So yeah, the couple bolts hold the fenders shut. Rather than have a tilting fiberglass hood, they just swung the steel fenders out to gain more accessibility to the engine. They only made the C series for 3 years, 1963 through 1965. It would have been replaced by the U model Mack, which looks similar to an R model Mack, only it has an offset cab, but it has a very short hood length. car. I saw it climb out when it started. Building up air pressure. Fuel gauge appears to be stuck. Stuck good oil pressure. Factory roof vent. Look at all the wasp nests. Nothing here anyway. Has air pressure or air wipers. This was the original transmission, 9-speed over-geared transmission, Mack unit shift. That would have been a single lever transmission, I believe. Where this has two individual shift levers now, because there's two side-by-side Mack transmissions. Power takeoff. Takeoff shaft spinning, so the pump is running. Apparently needs hydraulic fluid. Must have leaked out after sitting for 3 years. Won't go up, but we'll see if this thing will move under its own power. is up just above 180 degrees now. Idling just under 1,000 RPM. Battery is generating. It's at about 12 3/4 volts. I don't know how accurate that is, but it's about 12 volts anyway. Still generating air pressure. So about 900 RPM now. And it's just above 40 pounds of oil pressure. Oh, the fuel gauge is working now. It's not much, but it's up above E now. So it apparently works. I know the hoist works, it just needs oil. I found a puddle of oil from where it was parked, so I know it leaked out. The wipers, I think, kind of work. At least they used to. Stuck at the moment, apparently. Try this one. Nope, not working. A C-609 LST, and these were a very low production. I don't recall the total, but I'd say right around 1,000 units perhaps made in 1964. Thing runs like a clock, sounds perfect. At least in my opinion it does. No muffler, just a straight pipe. Dog has a broken leg. Should be a bulldog here. '64 is its 60th birthday. Still sounds good.